Don't have a glass. That might help to drink the whiskey if I had a bloody glass. Hold on. Hi everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Whiskey Reviews, and we're back with mystery review number 5. You might have noticed that the last two videos the background hasn't changed, and that's because we're doing these 3 in one day, and I've been pretty good so far. My nose seems to be quite on point, and I've gotten 2 right today, but the other 2 videos I've gotten them wrong, so we're 2 for 2 at the moment. So we'll see what number 3 has to bring to the table. So this is quite a light colour compared to the last 2 that I've had. I'd say that's sort of light gold, verging on straw. If you're wondering, I have a lot of reviewers assess the colour of the whiskies. Not that it makes a massive difference, because a lot of distilleries, a lot of bottlings of whiskey are artificially coloured, and that means you can't tell so much maybe from the colour of the whiskies. A lot of mine that I have here are naturally coloured, so often you'll see whiskies that are quite light in colour as well, but generally I have sort of a few levels of colour that I kind of standardise across kind of the spectrum so that you get an idea. So it goes from straw, gold, bronze and amber, and within those I normally have light or medium, which would just be on its own, just straw or gold or whatever, and then dark. So you could have dark amber would be the darkest, and light straw would be the lightest. I'd probably put this at sort of light gold or straw, I would say. Yeah, let's see what this one has to give. In terms of the viscosity, it seems to be a bit of a lower viscosity than the other 2 samples that I've had today, which might mean that this isn't cask strength, or at least is a bit of a lower strength to the other ones. Something else that you can do to get an idea of the viscosity sometimes is to, if you've got like a little bottle like this, is to shake it, and you see the bubbles. You might be able to see the bubbles there, and just see how long they last. And this one's looking like quite a high viscosity, because those bubbles are lasting quite well. I'm not sure how well the camera's actually going to show that, but yeah. Oh, this is quite a recognisable sort of style of whiskey. You're getting some vanilla, some slight pastry notes maybe. There's something that I would call like a little green to this. Green is a bit of a funny term in my tasting kind of vocabulary. It normally means kind of like a sappiness, maybe, like green, I don't know, wood sap, something like that. Yeah, so this is an interesting one. Very different style to the other 2 that I've had today, because the bourbon, and then we had cask strength Laphroaig. Of course, those are very recognisable styles of whiskey. This maybe isn't so much. Quite a recognisable sort of style of whiskey. This maybe isn't so much. There's a bit of oak there as well, some quite sort of dry oak, a little bit of sort of subtle spiciness in the background. Let's taste it anyway. It's peaty. So this one is peaty as well. Oh, and it's very peaty. It's funny you think I wasn't, because I had that sample of Ardmore that you'll remember from blind review number 2, and I wasn't getting much peat off that at all, not even on the taste. This one I wasn't getting it so much on the nose, but it's very recognisable on the taste. Again, as with the Laphroaig, in that you get that really powerful smokiness, peatiness, but it's maybe a bit more earthy than the Laphroaig was. And with the Laphroaig, you were getting that kind of orange notes, or I was anyway. And with this one, you're getting more of that lemon, I would say. But really intense on the taste, quite earthy into the finish as well, with maybe a little bit of chocolate. Really nice, actually, really nice finish, very long, quite oily as well. Stays in the mouth for quite a long time, quite a long finish. So this one's a really nice one. It's definitely, again, taking me to Islay. Possibly Lagavulin, Kalila, or even like a peated Bunnahabhain as well. That kind of thing could it could be as well. But I think Kalila, you often get those kind of lemon notes along with the smoke, but it's not quite as heavily peated as I think this one is. Yeah, one more taste. I do think this one is cask strength, but it's maybe not quite as strong as the previous two whiskies have been. The Knob Creek and the Lafroig both up at 60%. I think this one's a bit lower, in that sort of 50 to 55 range. In terms of age, it's probably about 10, 12 years old. It's not really old. It's quite spirit driven is what I would call it, not necessarily cask driven. You do get some of the oak coming through, but it's quite restrained. Yeah, I'm moving a bit more away from Kalila now. I think a Kalila would be a bit lighter than this. This is quite heavy, quite intense. You get that oiliness. It's interesting now that maybe it's between Lagavulin and Bunnahabhain, because they both have quite similar shapes of stills and distillation regimes as well. The stills at both Bunnahabhain and Lagavulin are quite onion shaped, so they're quite straight-sided. They're not particularly very curvy. And that's going to really make a difference to the style of whiskey as well. And they fill them quite high, I think, and they run the distillation quite fast, quite aggressively. And that's going to really bring a lot of that oiliness, a lot of really heavy character through into the spirit, into the whiskey. And you normally get that really coming through in those types of whiskies, I would say. But I think there's normally a note in Bunnahabhain that I don't necessarily get along with too well. There's maybe like a spiciness, a bit of harshness, a bit of harsh oiliness that I normally get. So I am thinking this one is maybe more a Lagavulin. One more taste. One more taste. Especially with that earthiness that you get. Don't often get that in Bunna. You maybe associate that a bit more with that Lagavulin. Oh, that chocolate's lovely. So that's what I'm going to go with, I think. Cask strength Lagavulin, 12 years old, from the Diageo special releases. 2014, I think, is the version that I have. I think that's at like 55.7%, something like that. So let's see with the reveal. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, Lagavulin, 12-year-old, 2014. So that's part of Diageo's sort of special releases. 54.4%. Yeah, that's a really, really very, very nice whiskey. Maybe not quite as good as the Lafroig, and a bit more expensive as well. It's about £80. And I actually got this at the distillery as well when I was visiting Islay a few years ago. Yeah, very, very nice whiskey. I'm getting a bit more of that peatiness now. Maybe now that I know it's peated on the nose. Yeah, very, very nice whiskey indeed. Very, very enjoyable. It keeps going. Still getting that taste there. But yeah, I mean that's how you blind taste, ladies and gentlemen, right there. That's how you do it. 3 for 3 today, making up a bit for the not so good tastings previously, but I seem to have done quite well. So we'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, thank you.